What's up, athletes and fans? Welcome to another episode of Athlete POV. I'm your host, Charlie Paulucci. Before this video starts, leave a like, subscribe if you're not already, turn on the notification bell, and leave a comment down below for who you think we should get on this podcast next. Michigan, successful season this past year, win the Big Ten, beating Ohio State. Just announced Harbaugh's back coach, so we're both excited about that as a Michigan fan myself. So my name is Charlie Paulucci. Let's get right into this. Leon, what's going on, man?
How you doing, man? I'm great. I'm glad to be a part of the podcast, man. I'm glad you had me on here.
Of course. Now, being from Michigan yourself, did that play a big role of going to the University of Michigan?
Of course, like growing up, like Michigan is just that school, man. Of course you got the crosstown right with Michigan State. You got them, but like Michigan, the prestige of Michigan, the history of Michigan. I'm like, man, it ain't no doubt. As soon as I got an opportunity to come here. It was no doubt, nowhere else that could have swayed me anywhere else.
Absolutely, man. Michigan, top of the line program, not just football wise, academically. Like you look at the tuition's like $75,000 with nothing. But yeah. So with Michigan now, what does like a typical day in your life look like? I know as someone that they got their first action this year. What does practices look like for someone like you, and how does it go?
Someone like me, I'm kind of like this past season. I'm gonna give you a little rundown. This past season, the season before, I was coming off injury. I tore my ACL and my meniscus. So my freshman year, 2 years ago, so I was out that whole year, and then the COVID year, I took that year to just get right. But then coming back, it was just like a day in the life. It was just like. In the summer for camp, everybody's waking up at 6 o'clock. We all waking up at 6 a.m.
Just how it is.
We get into the facilities. Yeah, we get into the facilities. We got meetings at 8:30. Everybody getting up around 6:30, waking up. You get up, you go in, you eat. They got a smoothie bar. They got all day breakfast. You can get your chicken and waffles. You can get your little sandwich in, whatever you want. And then from there, you got your special teams meeting from probably 8:30 to 9. Special teams meeting 8:30 to 9. Then we have O&D meetings from probably 9 to 11. So we get a unit meeting for about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what we really got to go over, what we got to look at. And then from around after we get done with the O unit, D unit, we break up into our individual running back rooms, wide receivers, defensive backs, and then we go in there and we just look at film. We look at what we can do better as our individual unit that will help everybody else out, learning our parts to play, and just basically looking at it, talking about how we gonna do stuff. But after that, we get an hour to like recover. We get an hour to go get in the hot tubs and stuff before practice, or go get in the cold tubs, go stretch, go do whatever you got, and then we practice in about an hour 45 minutes of just straight banging, straight technique, straight like just getting that work in.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Now let's talk a little bit about you. So you being, I would say fairly slightly undersized at 5'8", you're listed as, right? Do you think your size is like an advantage to you at the running back position, or what's your take on that?
I mean, running backs come in all shapes and sizes, so it's kind of like a position based on like ability and talent and it's just based on
Right.
ability and a do so. So like being undersized, there's a lot of backs that you can call undersized in the league. The main dudes that come up, you could say right now to think about it, he was in the what is his name, Devin Singletary. You can say he's undersized. Also. Who else could be undersized? There's a lot of backs in the league right now that's going undersized. You could say one of the greatest of all time, Barry Sanders, is undersized.
Barry, Emmett Smith was like 5'10". Yeah. No, yeah. What I was trying to say is, what's like the advantage of being your type of running? What's the advantage? Your greatest advantage?
My greatest advantage is being able to like hide behind blockers, being able to just be quicker than the defense. Because of course your linebackers are gonna be super big, but they not as flexible as us. They not as elusive as us. So they gonna be slow. They stiff. Most linebackers are stiff. So being my stature, due to my stature, I'm quicker and I'm just more fluid with my movement.
Right. And now next year, when you guys obviously off season camp stuff comes, what's your expectations for next year personally and as a team?
I'm gonna start with the team. Like it's a running back year. We fell short against Georgia, and that left a bad taste in our mouth.
Mm.
So ever since we got back, it was just like, man, we know where we gotta go. We know how good we are. We got some guys that's moving on. We dapping them up like appreciate y'all for y'all service, but we gotta get this. It's just this much that we need. This much. We just gotta tighten everything down. We know what we gotta get. And as a team, I feel like if everybody when everybody put they forefront forward and they just get down and just get in the ground with it, we gonna get right back where we left off. And then individually, I'm taking that to the next level. Like it's just a different mindset. It's a mindset of like I tasted the field, I tasted it all. Like I got a little now
I
it's time to
saw.
really like
Yes.
dig down. It's time to dig down and get a little bit more.
Absolutely. And then with your first action this year, I mean, I'm sure like you were waiting, you were hurt, you took that COVID year to recover, get mentally probably better too. You got the first action, and now you're just like biting at it now. I mean, I can get that feeling of like you got a taste of something, and now it's an addiction. You want to get back out there. You want to, run the ball every play. Well, if you're given the ball, yeah, completely understand that, man. So now going back to what you said about the team, this past year and your whole time throughout Michigan, what has been like a core moment, like the best story you could tell with the team from playing football?
Probably my it's like two different distinct moments. Okay, so we do this conditioning test called 150s where you run down to 25, cut back about you go down and back 3 times, about you run to 25 about 6 times. It was one day in camp where it was like it wasn't even camp, it was summer workouts where it was just pouring down rain. And everybody was just it was an early morning lift on a Saturday. Pouring rain. We all just sitting there like before we got to get to it, everybody looking at the rain, and then Coach Herb come up. He was like, "Man, I don't give a excuse my language. I don't give a fuck if it's rain, snow,
Tell him.
cold, fire. We going outside and we about to get this work in." And literally, like as soon as we went out there, we had to run them. Everybody was mad that we got to run them. Nobody really like want to run all that much. But when we got out there, it was just a feeling like everybody was just amped up. It was just like, dude, like it was crazy. Like everybody was just jacked, like on just straight jacked. We ran our conditioning test, pouring down rain. You could probably find a video somewhere. It's pouring down rain.
I,
It's pouring down everywhere.
I feel
It's
like
crazy.
I feel like the weather can be like one of those like mood shifting things that you can do as a team because yeah, it's shitty, but it's shitty for everyone. And I feel like just being together just it brings like it's like a bond type of thing. Like it's not just like a normal day where you got to do what you got to do. Now there's an extra element that you got to deal with and you're doing that together. And I feel like that is just something that makes teams closer and I'm sure it helped the team get the success where you guys got this year winning the Big 10 and beating Ohio State. So now, we can't skip this. Beating Ohio State. What on that field? I saw heads on the field, no grass, after that game on TV. You gotta tell me, what was it like? What was the feeling? How long did it take everyone to get off that field?
Dude, it took about it. I would just say like it took an hour, 2 hours to get back to the locker room. It was crazy, and like that feeling because in the COVID year, I think head coach of Ohio State told me they was gonna put 100 on me. It was just like what? And unfortunately, due to all the COVID activity, our season ended bad. Our season like not bad, but our season ended early. We couldn't really get that aggression out. But when it was time, I'm sure everybody in the stadium felt what we felt. That first drive when we were just punching them in the mouth. Like everybody felt what the game was gonna be like.
Guys ran for
Everybody
5
knew what was gonna
touchdowns.
happen. Yes, everybody knew what was gonna happen from that first drive. We were just like, all right, bet. This is what is gonna happen. And then after the game, when everybody rushed the field and we was all going crazy with the fans and all the supporters, it was crazy. Like I had to put my helmet on because I didn't want to fall. I didn't want to fall. I didn't want to get stabbed. I had to put my helmet right back on. It was just crazy. Like I had people coming up hugging me, kissing on my helmet. I'm like, oh man, crazy. It was crazy.
I absolutely love talking to Michigan guys because they're like my team, and I like watch them, and I know everything. Like I have a background on what you're talking about, right? From a fan watching on TV, top Michigan moment really of my conscious career of my like I'm 19 years old. The last time you guys beat Michigan State, Denard Robinson was on the field. That was like my guy who got me into Michigan. But yeah, nothing beats that. I mean, maybe the Big Ten championship could come similar, but after what like 9 years of losing to Ohio State, I'm sure that has to feel amazing. And now, I do want to ask you one more question about the college football playoff, right? So going into before the championships on Saturday, right? You guys were number two, obviously, and destroyed Iowa. It was not even close. Bama then beats Georgia, then beats Alabama. Wait, no, sorry. Alabama beats Georgia, right, in the SEC championship, and then Alabama hops you guys at number one. Did you feel you should have been number one because you were number two and then won?
Hmm. At that point in time, I don't think a whole lot of us were necessarily worried about the number one or number two spot
Hmm.
because we knew what type of team we were.
Right.
We knew that if we came to play our best, we put our like best foot forward, and we came to play the same type of football we played against Ohio State. It didn't matter who we played. It didn't matter if we played Bama, Georgia, or Cincinnati. Like we were teed up to play whoever. But unfortunately, it didn't play out like that. Unfortunately, the season ended how it ended. But being a number two seed, everybody's everybody's mentality, I can say everybody's mentality was like, let's get it.
Yeah,
Let's do what we gotta do.
100%. I just wanted to see what you thought about that. But now the biggest news of recent: Mr. Harbaugh is back in action there at Michigan. What was the react? Did you guys feel like there was any shot at all of any time that he would leave?
Um, honestly, we even talked about this in there. We was kind of like this, like yes, we this our beloved coach, Coach Harbaugh, best coach in college football. So it was like you cannot be mad at Coach Harbaugh for going to make going taking that next step in his career. Like we appreciate everything he's done for us. If he want to go take a step to the next level and make more money or elevate his life, like how are we gonna be mad at him for doing that?
Right,
Like
right.
so when he came back, it was just like I'm staying. It was just like all right, bet let's run it back, let's go.
Wait,
It was like all right,
could
bet.
wait when the news was announced he was coming back. Was it like a team meeting where he said, "Yeah, I'm coming back," or was it no? It wasn't like that.
No, it was just kind of like we all found out at the same time. Everybody found out at the same time. And we were just like, hey, Coach Harbaugh, he was in workouts the next day. Coach Harbaugh was in workouts today. Like when we walked in there at what 4:30, Coach Harbaugh was sitting in there. Hey, we dabbing it up with Coach. Appreciate you,
That's
Coach.
amazing.
Let's go.
I have a funny story about Coach. I played football in high school, right? Obviously not of any sort of Division One level, but I went to this camp one time. It was in like Pennsylvania. I'm from New Jersey, and a bunch of my teammates were going, whatever. And Michigan was like the big school that was going to be there to scout players. So I tried to go take a picture with Harbaugh after the camp, knowing that he had no interest in me, and he was like, "Sorry, can't take pictures with recruits."
Oh, I hit you with that. Oh man, that's crazy. I would have been hurt. My feelings would have been hurt so bad. I was like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that was my big my moment with Coach. But anyway, um, yeah, man, that I think we got a good amount out of that, and what your experience was this past year, and what the future holds. You got anything else?
Uh, I don't know. I'm fine. I appreciate you for having me, man. It was fun talking.
Yeah, of course. All right, we got Leon Washington. Leon Washington. That's the Jets running back. Leon in the past. Leon Franklin, University of Michigan running back. Thank you for chopping it up with us. We appreciate your time
Yes,
taking
sir.
coming on here. We're looking forward to what future holds. Keep an eye out on you next year. And thank you, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Of course.